are proud. We want the world to come to us and be a part of our hopes, of our dreams, of our new beginning. We will make a different start. We will now open up our door, a city like you've never seen before. Come feel the vibrance, come hear us shout. Experience magic, come to the south. With one proud city we welcome you. What you've been looking for, we have it too. With our commitment we want you to know that we are here and we're about to show that Naga smiles to the world. 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 Naga smiles to the world.
Naga City in the Bicol region has been known for its evolving unique governance paradigms and local governance programs. In fact, it has been recognized by various national and international institutions, receiving numerous awards for these achievements. The city leadership, with the people's ardent support, continues to inspire creativity, participation, and productivity. Like his predecessor, the late DILG Secretary Jesse M. Robredo, incumbent Mayor John G. Bongat continues to bring honor to the city, the latest of which, among others, is Naga's being a judge for 2 consecutive years, 2015 to 2016, as the country's overall #1 most competitive component city. Naga was likewise chosen in 2013 and 2016 as one of the top next wave cities of the Philippines. Also in 2014, the Lee Kuan Yew Institute of Public Policy of the National University of Singapore recognized Naga's ICT-driven project entitled Using ICT for Civic Engagement Towards Responsive Decision-Making as the most inspiring innovation in e-government and participatory innovations in Asia. Mayor Bongat's aggressive pro-investment platform has yielded positive results. In 2014, BLGF certified that Naga has developed a strong local revenue base from real property and business taxes because of its robust economy, controlling a 44% share in the total revenues of all 7 cities in the Bicol region, a feat that remains unparalleled to date. To cap it all, Mayor Bongat himself received in 2016 the prestigious CEO Excel Award given by the International Association of Business Communicators Philippines for its exemplary leadership in the field of public service. Mayor Bongat, with his game-changing leadership braced by a solid foundation of good governance, is expected to continue leading his beloved city to greater heights. competitiveness and livability has been the city government's focus since Mayor Bongat assumed office in July 2010. The efforts can be summed up in our Help Your City agenda, which stands for HELP: health, housing, and the urban poor, education, arts, culture, and sports development, livelihood, employment, and human development, peace and order, and public safety, cleanliness, and environmental protection, and transparency, accountability, and good governance. Truly, Naga City has evolved into a community that is worth living, enjoyable, and sustainable. However, the most important element of Naga City is its people. So, the city government exerts extra effort in providing and sustaining programs for the various sectors. Aside from the multi-awarded Naga City People's Council, NCPC, which is the primary venue for participation in governance by the organized sectors, the city maintains development and programs for its urban poor, PWDs, senior citizen, youth, and women. These programs, offices, and organizations have become institutional expressions of the care and attention provided by the city government to every Nagueño, Nagueña. Just recently, the Manila Times has chosen Naga as one of the top 10 model livable cities in the country. Naga City, beyond being livable, is well on its way to being lovable city, inspiringly livable and adorable indeed.
I believe that there's so much to share and learn. And by way of this special sisterhood partnership with our cities, it will not only open doors for opportunities for exchange in governance, commerce, tourism, education, environment, livelihood, youth and sports development, culture and the arts, heritage conservation, social services, and citizens empowerment, but also foster the blending of two cultures, a heritage city and a pilgrim city.
So on behalf of the City Government of Naga, thank you very much to the City Government of Vigan, headed by Mayor Carlo and Vice Mayor Lourdes Bakiran, and the entire officialdom of the City of Vigan for this golden opportunity to be sister with the City of Naga.
Historically, we are twins whose umbilical cords can be traced to the papal bull entitled Super Specula Militantes Ecclesia, issued by Pope Clement VIII on August 14, 1595, that established the Spanish colonial cities of Nueva Cáceres and Nueva Segovia, making our respective territories the first four royal cities in the Philippines that include Manila and Cebu.
of the faithful of God.
makes you happy? My son. Anong nagpapasaya sa atin? Si Jesus. Si Jesus lang. Wala nang iba.
We want the world to come to us and be a part of our hopes, of our dreams, of our new beginning. We will make a different start. We will now open up our door, a city like you've never seen before. Come feel the vibrance, come hear us shout. Experience magic, come to the south. With one proud city, we welcome you. What you've been looking for, we have it too. With our commitment, we want you to know that we are here and we're about to show that Naga smiles to the world. 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 Naga smiles. Naga smiles to the world.
Naga City in the Bicol region has been known for its evolving unique governance paradigms and local governance programs. In fact, it has been recognized by various national and international institutions, receiving numerous awards for these achievements. The city leadership, with the people's ardent support, continues to inspire creativity, participation, and productivity. Like his predecessor, the late DILG Secretary Jesse M. Robredo, incumbent Mayor John G. Bongat continues to bring honor to the city, the latest of which, among others, is Naga's being a judge for 2 consecutive years, 2015 to 2016, as the country's overall #1 most competitive component city. Naga was likewise chosen in 2013 and 2016 as one of the top next wave cities of the Philippines. Also in 2014, the Lee Kuan Yew Institute of Public Policy of the National University of Singapore recognized Naga's ICT-driven project entitled Using ICT for Civic Engagement Towards Responsive Decision-Making as the most inspiring innovation in e-government and participatory innovations in Asia. Mayor Bongat's aggressive pro-investment platform has yielded positive results. In 2014, BLGF certified that Naga has developed a strong local revenue base from real property and business taxes because of its robust economy, controlling a 44% share in the total revenues of all 7 cities in the Bicol region, a feat that remains unparalleled to date. To cap it all, Mayor Bongat himself received in 2016 the prestigious CEO Excel Award given by the International Association of Business Communicators Philippines for its exemplary leadership in the field of public service. Mayor Bongat, with his game-changing leadership raised by a solid foundation of good governance, is expected to continue leading his beloved city to greater heights. Competitiveness and livability has been the city government's focus since Mayor Bongat assumed office in July 2010. The efforts can be summed up in our Help Your City agenda, which stands for help, health, housing, and the urban poor, education, arts, culture, and sports development, livelihood, employment, and human development, peace and order, and public safety, cleanliness, and environmental protection, and transparency, accountability, and good governance. Truly, Naga City has evolved into a community that is worth living, enjoyable, and sustainable. However, the most important element of Naga City is its people. So, the city government exerts extra effort in providing and sustaining programs for the various sectors. Aside from the multi-awarded Naga City People's Council, NCPC, which is the primary venue for participation in governance by the organized sectors, the city maintains development and programs for its urban poor, PWDs, senior citizen, youth, and women. These programs, offices, and organizations have become institutional expressions of the care and attention provided by the city government to every Nagueño, Nagueña. Just recently, the Manila Times has chosen Naga as one of the top 10 model livable cities in the country. Naga City, beyond being livable, is well on its way to being lovable city, inspiringly livable and adorable indeed.
Now called to order. Please take your seat for the roll call.
Honorable Nelson S. Legacion, City Vice Mayor and Presiding Officer. He is the Acting Mayor, Madam Chair. Honorable Cecilia Vidiasis, Acting City Vice Mayor and Presiding Officer, present. Roll call on the City Councilors. Honorable Gregorio R. Abunal, present. Honorable Jose Serranyola, present. Honorable Elmer S. Baldimoro, present. Honorable Mila S. Darakid Arroyo, absent. Honorable Julian Silabadia Jr., present. Honorable Joselito S. A. Del Rosario, absent. Honorable Vidal P. Castillo, present. Honorable Rayan Cedric Girintoy, present. Honorable Salvador M. Del Castillo, present. Honorable Tomas Ramon A. Sanchez Jr., present. Madam Chair, there is a quorum.
Next item.
Prayer.
Dear Lord, as we deliberate in today's session, give us the wisdom to overcome challenges. Give us this understanding heart and give us the foresight to know what the future means. Give us the courage to seek the truth. Give us the possibility of love to survive.
Pambansang awit.
take your seat. Next item. Before that, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Rene Gumba, the Executive Liaison Officer, Jess San Nieves, City Youth Councilor, and Mr. Allen Riondanga of Cepeo. Okay, next item. Acknowledging the presence of Honorable Miles Rakid Arroyo. Next.
Privilege time.
Anyone who'd like to avail of the privilege time? None. Okay, next item.
Reading and approval of the order of business.
Honorable Baldemoro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, may I move to dispense the reading of the order of business and move for its approval.
Any second? Second. Okay, the minutes is not, the order of business is approved.
Order of business, special business or order, the letter dated June 20, 2017 from the City Mayor, endorsing the offer to sell 76,623 square meter property of Maria Cristina Mercado, Antonio de Horas, Emiliana Mercado, and Ezequiel Villacorta, located in Barangay Pacol for the city's urban poor housing program, and requesting for authority to negotiate with the landowners for the purpose.
Honorable Arroyo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May we know if the property is within the residential area as proposed in the comprehensive land use plan of the city? May we request the presence of Mr. Willie Prillas, Madam Chair. So may I move for temporary deferment?
Okay, temporary deferred. Mr. Prillas, can you ask somebody to call Mr. Prillas? Okay, next. Honorable Del Castillo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Chair. Actually, Madam Chair, there are a lot of matters that should be taken into consideration before we finally dispose of this matter. First, the concern of the Honorable Arroyo. Second one is the total cost of the property, which is 7.6 hectares. It's a large amount of money. Then the source of fund and the total direction of the city when it comes to relocation, acquisition of relocation site for our urban poor, Madam Chair. So we might as well refer this matter to the appropriate committee.
Honorable Miles, Honorable Arroyo.
I agree, Madam Chair. Considering, however, that the matter is on a special business or order, maybe we can take preliminary look into the matter and then decide accordingly later on whether to refer the matter for committee action or that it may already be acted upon by the Sangguniang.
Is that okay with you, Honorable Del Castillo? Okay. Next item.
Unfinished business. Letter dated June 22, 2017, inviting Mr. Prillas, City Planning and Development Coordinator, with respect to the revised 2018 Annual Investment Program, after consolidating all submissions from the Executive and Legislative Departments of the City Government.
Was Mr. Prillas informed that his presence is needed today?
He was informed, Madam Chair.
Can somebody follow up? The office of Mr. Prillas? Okay. Temporarily deferred. Next item.
The proposed ordinance authored by Honorable Osilito S. del Rosario, providing for the terms of reference for the lease, development, and utilization of the city property in Barangay Lerma into mixed-use UB Express and PUJ terminal for eastbound routes. For this, we invited Madam Chair, Mr. Frank Mendoza, Mr. Willie Prillas, and Engineer Palmian.
We acknowledge the presence of Honorable Del Rosario. Honorable Del Rosario.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and to my colleagues. Last session, Madam Chair, we discussed, we the proposed terms of reference for the lease, development, and utilization of the city property in Barangay Lerma into mixed-use UB Express and PUD terminal for eastbound routes. And last session also, this representation, Madam Chair, suggested to the Sangguniang that we invite Mr. Willie Prilles, Mr. Frank Mendoza, and Engineer Chito Palmiano for today's session, Madam Chair.
So we defer this temporarily?
Yes, Madam Chair, while we await.
Defer temporarily. Next item. Honorable Abonal?
When we say defer, do we have any idea what time or when this will be taken up again?
Can we ask the Sergeant of Arms to arrest, to get Mr. Prilles, Mr. Mendoza, and Engineer Palmiano?
May we know if this is being deferred? May we know what time or when it will be taken up again?
Based on the presence of the 3 requested personnel to come. Ano yan na?
Once they are all in, we're... Okay, kasi,
once they are all in, we will go back to the matters.
Yes, it may be necessary, even if they were here. We were going to ask for aerial designation of the area, proposed area, including the road, etc. Yung actual po ba kung drawing sa papel sana, because there are structures there. We'd like to be able to see how many of those structures will be affected. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So you are suggesting that an aerial
drone chat
perspective be shown to the Sangguniang Panlungsod today or next session?
Next.
Okay, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Prilles. Okay, Honorable Del Rosario.
Madam Chair, as to the request of Honorable Abunal, we have here Mr. Alan Riondanga of SEPIO. We might as well ask for his assistance regarding the drone chat being requested by Honorable Abunal. Next session, Madam Chair.
Mr. Riondanga, please take note of the request. Are we still going to wait for Engineer Palmiano and Mr. Mendoza? Mr. Prilles is here already. Can we discuss the first item? Let's go back to item number 1.
The first item, Madam Chair, under special unfinished business is the invitation to Mr. Prilles with respect to the revised 2018 annual investment program after consolidating all submissions from the executive and legislative departments.
The rules is suspended. Mr. Prilles, with regards to item number 1. Okay, Honorable Arroyo, you have a question regarding this matter?
Yes, Madam Chair. May we have the comments of the Honorable Del Castillo and this representation concerning the proposed property, which are 1, whether the proposed property for acquisition is within the residential area. Well, my concern, Madam Chair, would be whether such proposed acquisition is within the annual investment program, if we're considering the AIP. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Prilles?
May I be informed what the proposed property under discussion is? Because I'm not privy to.
Mayo Maluyang sound. Is it within the residential area as questioned by Honorable Arroyo?
This is the first time, Your Honor, that I saw that letter. We will require some time for my staff to find out what the exact location is, because that is only a textual description of the property, and there is yet no way for us to find out what the exact location is, especially in the map of the city.
Okay, Honorable Arroyo.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. In which case, may I move that we refer for comment of the CPDO, particularly on the location of the proposed property for acquisition, and for the office to submit its comments within 10 days from receipt. Thank you, Madam Chair.
This is referred to the City Population Development Office for their comment. Okay, next item.
The revised 2018 annual investment program.
Again, Mr. Prillas.
Thank you, Your Honors. As committed last Friday, we emailed the final and the signed document containing the revisions in the proposed 2018 AIP. If I may summarize the revisions, we have revised the SPA allocations responding to the concerns of the respective Sangguniang Panlungsod member proponents, specifically the GAD. We raised it to 3.2, Children as Affairs 1.5, Price Monitoring 0.2, Youth Development 3, and People Law Enforcement Board 0.5 million. We also added an item for the Naga City Housing and Urban Development Board under SPA 0.5 million. We have restored the NCPC's mandated allocation. It was pointed out that there is a Sangguniang ordinance mandating that the allocation for NCPC will be pegged at 1.25% of the internal revenue allotment. I consulted the budget office and the recommendation is to put it at 2 million. We have restored the two priority projects identified last time, which is the City Cemetery at 100 million and the eastbound terminal at 40. We have added the house numbering project as proposed by Councilor Del Castillo, 5 million under the City Mayor's office, and reflected the allocation for the Sangguniang Panlungsod to the tune of 50 million. So much so that the final AIP proposed for next year have risen to 2.254.8 million, and this represents 77% of the AIP for 2017. We have also provided the sectoral breakdowns as requested by Councilor Abunal. There was a change in HDO prompted by the comment by Councilor Labadia in regard to the one-time big time. So we have made an adjustment, and this means that SO and SDO will have the two biggest allocations at 6.4 to 5.8. We have also provided priority projects as requested by the Sangguniang in the PowerPoint presentation. For example, sectoral, for the social sector, we have the one-time big time and land banking, so the two biggest projects. These are the capital expenditure projects. We have taken out already the PS and MOOE. And then this is followed by the new City College of Naga building, public infrastructure projects by the Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office, education, social inclusive mobility, renovation of City Health Office, and physical plant expansion of the Naga City Hospital. These are contained in the PowerPoint presentation I emailed together with this extensive list. Under the economic sector, we have the physical improvement of the public market as the biggest, 38 million, followed by city nursery development, almost 10 million, improvement and redevelopment of Isarog Natural Park, 8 million, the City Agriculture Master Plan, 5.1, Naga City Museum at 5.1. These are the capital expenditures. Improvement and redevelopment of the Naga City Ecology Park, 4. Rehab of chiller room and equipment, abattoir, 4. Preservation, development, and promotion of Naga's built heritage, 3. And improvement in the facilities of the Bicol Central Station, 2.6 million. For environment, of course, the biggest item is the sanitary landfill and waste-to-energy facility at 2.68. The equipment required by the SWMO, 19. This includes the dump trucks and the mini dump trucks. The upgrading of SWMO building and inoculant laboratory at 6.5. Playgrounds installation in all public schools, 2 million. SWMO's proposed vehicles at 1.9, parts and landscaping 1.4, and service vehicle of Enro at 1 million. For infra, the biggest projects are as follows. The Naga City Public Cemetery at 100. Circumferential Road, Lupa to San Felipe at 77.2. Eastbound Terminal at 40. Road widening and bridge improvement. This is the Ecozone Access Project at 38.8. Streetlights modernization at 34.9. This is a joint undertaking between the GSD and the City Engineer's Office. Road concreting, Naga City Science High School to Balatas Dump Site. This is 13.2 million. Retrofitting of Balatas Cararayan Bridge, 9.3. Drainage, Cookville to San Felipe Creek, 8.3. Repair of the Metro Naga Grandstand, Metro Naga Sports Complex Grandstand, 7.8. Road concreting around GMR Coliseum to Piana Road, 6.9. Two-story Del Rosario High School, 5.5. Repair of the basketball court at the JMR Coliseum, 4.5. Road opening concreting at Murada Ramos to Sitio Pasto, 4.4. For DepEd, the biggest projects in terms of capital expenditures are the operation of stock inventory system by the GSD. This is 20 million. Information system enhancement by ITO, 16. Frontline services by GSD, 14.5. Barangay support fund, 11.4. Completion of GIS data by Assessor's Office, 10. Repair and maintenance of Equipment's Office and other improvements of the city's Civil Registry Office, 10. And administrative and basic service of CMO at 5. So our request, Your Honor, is if you find this acceptable in order, we are requesting for the approval of this AIP so that the budget call will have now a firm and solid basis.
Okay, we acknowledge the presence of Engineer Palmiano. Okay, any comments from the members? Honorable Arroyo?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. May we go to the comparative AIP 2017 versus 2018? The summary. Comparative AIP. Sige pa. Baba pa tabi. Yan. 2018, okay. 2018 is clearly lower than 2017. May we know the reason for this, Madam Chair?
I believe the 2018 numbers is directly based on the workshop we did in 2016, and you will take note that the bigger drop came between the environment sector. The estimates for the sanitary landfill, for instance, was a lot bigger than it was. The decision was already to put it at 260, if I'm not mistaken. So this is almost a 50% drop from 757 to 381. So the figures this year are more realistic than the figures in 2017. That is the single biggest item, Your Honor, that accounts for the drop.
Does this mean, Madam Chair, that there will be fewer services both in terms of expanse and reach? Okay. For example, in the social sector, we approved in 2017 817 million, but here now it's only 689. Yes, I'm really wondering, although if Mr. Prillas is saying that this is the more realistic figure, the one being proposed in 2018, I'd like to believe that this would mean more efficiency, but not necessarily less effectiveness. That the budget, the lower budget means more efficiency, that we are becoming more efficient than. And it doesn't mean that we are becoming less effective, because less effective means fewer services and lesser in expanse. That's why we have a lower number. We'd like to be assured, Madam Chair, of the real implication of this lower number in our AIP for 2018. Thank you.
There is assurance, Your Honor.
Yes.
We trust in the wisdom of the individual departments that contributed to the consolidated amounts. So there is assurance that there will be no reduction in services. In fact, there will be more because, for instance, in the education budget, there are already provisions to respond to the requirements of the senior high school program that the DepEd is implementing. So there is that assurance, Your Honor. I agree with Councilor Raquel Arroyo that probably we can say that there is more efficiency. When the different offices prepared their respective EIPs, they were guided by the documents that we have already, the direction set by the mayor, the long-term development investment program, so that there is better footing in terms of coming up with this investment program. And let me point out that 2.2 is still almost twice than the expected budget that we will have. The budget that we'll most probably have will only be around 1.1 or 1.2 billion. So we have space through which the effectiveness and efficiency consideration can still be achieved.
Last point on the matter, Madam Chair.
Okay, Honorable Arroyo.
Yes, although it doesn't bear on our action to approve or not approve this morning, may we be shown where the drop actually happens, whether it is in PS, MOE, or capital outlay? May we be later on shown if it's not available now?
I can provide you with that, but not at this point, Your Honor.
Yes,
what I have only are universal figures. For example, the total under the total column is comparable to 2017.
Yes, so just later on, Madam Chair, so that we can really see where the drop happened. Thank you, Madam Chair.
For the 2017, the same
comparison of 2018 and 2017, taking into consideration PS, MOE, and capital outlay.
We will prepare that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Honorable Del Rosario?
Good morning, Mr. Prillas. Following the line of thinking of Councilor Miles, I also noticed as far as infra, we had a drop from 566 for this year to only 480. I understand we still have problems as far as farm-to-market roads, drainages, and roads vital to the spurring of our economic growth in Naga City. Could you still further explain this, Mr. Prillas?
Again, Your Honor, we rely on the individual submissions of the different departments. In fact, if we did not include the proposal of Councilor Baldemoro to incorporate the cemetery and the eastbound, that amount should have only been around 340 million. So meaning to say it should have been more, it should have been lower than that. But I think the logic is that we depend on the perceived capability of the City Engineer's Office to implement the numbers that are incorporated. The number they submitted, I think, reflects the capability or the extent through which they can implement that. So I think this 480 million gives us more space, but also takes into consideration the capability of the CEO to implement this project.
Yes, Madam Chair. Although we were rated #1 in infrastructure in the latest economic competitiveness council ranking, but I still believe, Madam Chair, lalo na sa mga upper barangays, na we have to be aggressive as far as our infra development is concerned. I can see in the gallery, Engineer Palmiano, if Mr. Prillas is pointing that it's because of the submission of the City Engineer's Office that they only relied on that document. Siguro kay po na ansa ko yung amigong City Engineer magtagalakaw-lakaw pa sa luwas. Tangaring mahiling niya si kakulangan kan si Satuya pang mga sa infrastructure. Kadakol pa kita, Madam Chair. Mga barangay, kadakol request ng mga infrastructure projects, mga cementing of roads. Sa iling ko, dapat isabay taman ang development sa tuyong barangay sa development sa tuyong siyudad, Madam Chair.
Can I request Your Honor, City Engineer Palmiano to probably respond?
Okay, but before that, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of the City Budget Officer, Mr. Frank Mendoza. May we request the City Engineer to address the concern raised by Honorable Del Rosario? Baka may mga Yes. With regards to your submission to the CPDO.
Madam Chair, good morning to all. Actually, we have more projects to implement. In fact, if we go to the list of infrastructure projects that the city is going to implement, there are still a lot of projects we have to implement. But the capability right now of the engineering office is to implement only several projects for the year. Actually, we cannot implement all the projects all at the same time because of some limitations, like limitations in the personnel, and sometimes there's also a limit to the budget, Madam Chair.
Honorable Del Rosario. But before that, we'd like to acknowledge the student from Mariners Naga, headed by their teacher, Kagitla Mario Jr. Thank you for coming. Okay, Honorable Del Rosario.
Thank you, Engineer. Madam Chair, ang perito sigurong gibuhon, i-request kay Engineer Palmiano na balikan ito mga previous na mga request kan mga barangay na dain aktor ang kansyudad siguro for the last 2 years. Tangarig maibali pa anyway for ano man next year. This is also to give justice naman sa mga barangay na nagparasiribot na masimbagan man si mga infrastructure requesting da. Tangarig na at least makalamag-lamag mo siya. Siguro yun lang ang i-request ko kay Engineer Palmiano, Madam Chair.
Siguro pwedeng ibanan mo si Engineer Palmiano sa paglikot mo sa mga barangay.
Malibot-libot kami, Madam Chair, para mas...
Okay, next. Honorable Arroyo.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Medyo concerned lang ako that we will not be implementing projects dahil of our limited capability. Okay lang, Madam Chair, kung ang limitation is budget. Mamakitangga yung mag-ibo dyan. No? Pero kung ang limitation is the capability of the office, pag nag-AIP kaya kita, ang paghihiling ta talaga is the need. No? Itong mga immediate need that must be responded to for 2018. So, kung halimbawa, pareho katong sinabi ni Engineer Palmiano, limitation in terms of personnel, yung personnel is part of the project cost. No? Kung igwaman sa nakitang resources, no, in terms of fund, malilimit ang sa itong dapat gibuhon despite the fact na kaipuhan na siyang magibo just because kulang ng personnel sa satuyang opisina. Di ba part siya tabi kang capability that we should have to implement the projects which have funds, and included in that requirement for funding is the capability to actually implement the project. Concern lang ako sa arog kaya na situation. Can we be more enlightened on that matter, Madam Chair?
Okay, Engineer Palmiano.
Before Engineer Palmiano, Your Honor, let me just explain that the AIP of the Infrastructure Division already incorporates, I think, 3 items for additional personnel of the City Engineer's Office. Engineer Palmiano will explain that part, but there is a gap, and the AIP tries to respond to that gap.
Okay, Engineer Palmiano, can you reply? Can you answer the query of
yes, Madam Chair. In fact, we have requested already for additional personnel in the office, and unfortunately, right now, the personnel selection board has not yet scheduled the selection, but hopefully within the year they will, Madam Chair. By the way, if I may add, Madam Chair, the infrastructure project, according to that table, is 480. But we have to take note that it does not include yet the SLF, which is quite a large project also. If we try to add the SLF, which is also to be undertaken by our office, I'm quite sure it will be more than the budget in 2017, Madam Chair.
Honorable Labadia. Honorable Arroyo.
Yes, kung arukin tabi ang situation, Madam Chair, then may we request Councilor Del Rosario to present the priorities which he mentioned, and so that we can see whether those priorities are actually part of those which will be implemented in 2018, para medyo konkreto din ang paghihiling ta. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable Labadia and then Honorable Del Castillo.
Ang sa kuya, Madam Chairman, si annual investment plan, ang annual investment plan, yun si resulta kang May 26 na pag-urulay kang CDC, City Development Councils, and then si resulta duman pinadara sa tuya, and then kang last week nag-special session kita para aprobaran ko ta, pero kadakol concern. Yan si number 1, Mr. Chairman, si background. Ang number 2, Mr. Chairman, ining annual investment plan, yun ang mga basis na kung pwedeng, yun ang basis para makaiba ka sa annual budget na ipopropose kang City Mayor. So, sa kuya, Mr. Chairman, ining 2017 halangkaw, though na-explain na ni Willie, pero mas nagtutubod pa ako, Madam Chairman, na dapat naglalangkaw talaga ang proposed annual investment plan. Though itong resulta kang CDC, pigsarabmit na kantong well represented ba nito, and na-invite nga ni kita, pero ang gusto ko lang paluwason, Madam Chairman, kuta na si gabos na ideya na ikamamaray kang syudad, ikaraag dyan sa annual investment plan. Pag kinaag mo dyan, di man necessarily na pupunduhan mo. Kaya ang proposed 2018, pwede siyang maging 3 billion, 4 billion, or 5 billion. Kaya sa kuya, later on, i-request Madam Chairman sa imong committee na si approval kani ngunya na aldaw, pero siya na si pinakalas na aprobaran dahil i-review ta pa ini. Nag-request kita, Madam Chairman, na this will be the last matter to be approved today. Kasi i-check ta pa sa kuya. Ang concern ko, Madam Chairman, just for the record, itong sa agricultural roadmap, it's either nasa infra siya o sa social or economic. Last year, 100 million ito sa annual investment plan. Now, duman sa one time, big time, more or less 350 million ito. Sabi nga ni baga, Madam Chairman, di man gusto sabihin niya na dyan, siya yung pupunduhan. Pasiguro lang kita, Madam Chairman, kung may makuha kitang investor na nagsasabi, sige, we will do this with the amount na nandyan sa annual investment plan, madali na lang. So, duwang bagay, Madam Chairman. Primero, ini yung approval kang annual investment plan, hopefully to be approved today, but on the last item of the session. And then, Madam Chairman, ini yung annual investment plan, talagang dapat maglangkaw siya imbis na magbaba. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Prillas.
Just to respond, tama po on the one hand, tama po si point ni Councilor Labadia na the better the figure, mas mari para sa tuya. Pero dapat konsideron taman si perspective ng mga individual offices. Remember that this is only for 2018. Si may na-aprobaran ta pong investment program last year is for a 3-year period. Siguro, konsideron taman si wisdom kang mga opisina ma-implement. Baka sa paghiling nila, si pig-submit nila, yun lang si kaya nindang i-implement over the period of 2018. So baka po yan ang logic kung taano ta nagbaba. Kasi sa pagtubon mo po mas realistic ining figure, and we depend on the wisdom of the implementing agencies at the end of the day.
Okay, Honorable Del Castillo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, on part of this representation, I believe that that 2.254 billion pesos for 2018 is only the benchmark. Ito sabi yun, dahil kita masubra dyan. But I'm sure na ang budget for 2018 will just be around 1.2 or 1.3 billion pesos. So, there remains 900 million pesos na unfunded for 2018. So, for purposes of adopting the annual investment program, so long as it is taken from the comprehensive development plan, for me, it's okay, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. Any other remarks before we proceed? Honorable Arroyo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May we know sa intabi malaog itong mga requested from the barangays na mga farm-to-market roads, itong connecting this to this. Naghagad kaya ba kita ka itong garo mga priorities ng mga barangays, Madam Chair? May we know kung saan ito malaog? Sa ina portion kang sa tong pondo for 2018, portion kang sa tong AIP for 2018.
Okay, Mr. Pilias.
Under po the SPA, there is an item, I think close to 20 million na barangay support fund. Those are categorized as capital outlays. Saro po ito. And under the mayor's, the budget, the AIP of the engineer's office, iko pa siyang provisions for support for other drainage, other road projects. So, ang sabi po ni City Engineer, pwede man ibugtak duman or i-source out duman.
Can we be pointed to it directly?
Sa City Engineer. Sa infra. Sa infra.
SPA po. So, if I'm not mistaken, sa DepEd.
Infrastructure sector?
No. Under the Development Administration.
Development Administration. Barangay Support Fund?
Barangay Support Fund.
So, sa Barangay Support Fund, dyan malaog itong mga infra need?
Yeah po. That was categorized as capital outlay.
So, Barangay Support Fund is capital outlay?
Capital outlay po yan. Okay. So, these are the barangay-initiated PPAs amounting to 11.35 million.
Okay.
Tapos, duman po sa budget kang, sa AIP kang Engineer's Office.
Engineer.
Okay. CEO. Sa City Engineer.
City Engineer's Office.
Sa infra sector.
Okay.
Mailing po nidos, for instance, under drainage, ito siyang drainage for other barangays amounting to 11 million.
And that's different, Madam Chair, from the...
That's different.
That's different from the
11.4
support for barangay. Tapos under roads, ito po siyang road concreting of various barangays. That's 18 million.
Okay.
So I would assume there are flexibilities allowed to the implementing agencies to respond to the concerns of Councilor Del Rosario.
Okay.
Especially when the budgeting process comes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any other questions to Mr. Pilias? Okay, Honorable Ranyola.
May we please see the breakdown on health?
Health. 10.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, any other? Thank you, Mr. Prillas. So, do you still need Mr. Frank Mendoza with regards to the joint memo circular, which is included in today's session? Honorable Arroyo?
Yes, Madam Chair, aside from the document that I earlier requested, the comparison of 2017 and 2018, may we also ask from Mr. Prillas a presentation in terms of all infrastructure. Capital outlay is composed of several items, not just infrastructure. May we also be presented with the total budget, or the total AIP for infra for 2018, so that we will just have an idea actually in terms of the percentage for infra as against the other budget items in our 2018 AIP. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And under each sector, Your Honor, there is a summary, a table containing summary. For instance, for the infrastructure sector, yes, sa baba pa, infra. For the infrastructure sector, there are the first column, department and office, so there are essentially two. CEO has a proposed PS of 34. This already includes the three items that they are requesting as additional staff. MOE of 12.6, 12.7, and then the capital outlay of 413 for CEO and 19 million for GSD for the streetlights components. So there is that figure. So the bulk of the infrastructure sector item still falls under capital outlay, but there are provisions for PS and MOE. The PS for GSD is under the DevAd, because GSD is providing development administration services, but at the same time they will work with CEO in providing the streetlights. So the GSD component is close to 20 million to provide the bulbs that will modernize our streetlights.
And the worst. Honorable Arroyo?
Yes, Madam Chair. In this presentation, do we take it to mean that 433,241,000 is actually solely for infrastructure, while under capital outlay for under the different offices and sector, there would still be infrastructure, or that's not anymore infrastructure. Those are other types of capital outlay, infrastructure being only 433,241,000. Can we be enlightened?
Actually, for instance, the example cited by Engineer Palmiano, the capital outlay for the sanitary landfill is lodged under the environment sector. So the 260 is not included under infra but under environment. So infra is not solely limited to the capital outlay of the infrastructure sector. There will be infra, for instance, in housing, so that will fall under social when you put up the support services and facilities for the socialized housing projects, and the same holds true for the others. For instance, that will hold true for DevAd. So at the end of the day, if it's infrastructure related, the implementing agency will most probably be the CEO, but the budget or the investment program does not have to come from the infrastructure sector. So City Engineer Palmiano is correct that the item for under infra does not actually represent the whole infrastructure requirements of the city.
Does that satisfy you, Honorable Arroyo?
It answers my question. It answered my question, Madam Chair, but it does not really tell us exactly the infrastructure budget of the city if it is spread throughout the sectors. Is it possible that because if we will be presented this summary, for example, where a specific line is indicated as infrastructure, then we get to think that that's the budget for infrastructure. If infrastructure anyway is spread over or along or across the different sectors and offices, then why do we have to have a category specifically saying infrastructure?
We can prepare, Your Honor, a more focused and detailed listing as the infrastructure budget of the city. But we are also considering the fact that We have difficulty, for instance, locating the sanitary landfill under infra, because it is the major deliverable of the SWMO. So on the one hand, we will prepare a detailed list of the infrastructure budget. We are constrained by the fact that the tag is capital outlay. Capital outlay can be infra and other expenditures that are non-infra. So we will do that, Your Honor. But we will need time to generate.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Prillas. Can we now move, Honorable Del Castillo?
So, Madam Chair, siguro, so bago nag-request si Councilor Labadia na kung pwede pahuhuring unaan approval ka ni Asjan. And considering na igwang isa-summarize siguro ang sa Willie, kung pwedeng mailaog before we adjourn, so baka pwedeng ipasar today, Madam Chair.
Okay, so this will be taken up later of the day, before we adjourn. Honorable Arroyo.
May we know from Mr. Prillas if the information we requested may be ready before?
We will submit before lunch, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Prillas. Okay, this matter is deferred. We'll discuss this at the end of, before the end of the session. Next item.
The proposed ordinance of Honorable Silito S. Idol Rosario, providing for the terms of reference for the lease, development, and utilization of the city property in Barangay Lerma into mixed-use UB Express and PUJ terminal for eastbounds. Again, Madam Chair, we invited in today's session Mr. Frank Mendoza, the City Budget Officer, Mr. Willie Prillas of the City Planning, and Engineer Leon Palmiano of the City Engineer's Office.
Honorable Del Rosario.
Madam Chair, as I stated earlier, and Mr. De La Torre also stated that we invited these three government officials to further enlighten us as regards the proposed TOR. We would like to request first Mr. Prillas, Madam Chair.
Mr. Prillas, can you enlighten us on this?
I consulted my notes. I actually prepared a PowerPoint presentation sent to the Sangguniang, summarizing the highlights. The last item I recall was to incorporate a comment by Vice Mayor Nelson Ligacion in regards to the renewal. I think the wording under the current TRO is to be approved under the same terms and conditions. But he suggested that because by the end of the 25-year period, the property and all its other improvements will already be transferred to the city government. The renewal will have to be negotiated with the city government of Naga, and we're amenable to that, Your Honor. If it is possible to flash the PowerPoint presentation that summarizes the highlights of the TOR.
Can you flash the PowerPoint presentation?
This was sent September 6, 2016.
September 6, 2016.
Yes, to the Sangguniang Panlungsod email address. September 6.
Ano daw yan, Gil?
Probably we'll need a little more time to put up the presentation.
Can we go to? Do you have a question to Mr. Frank Mendoza? We'll still wait for the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, Honorable Labadia.
Madam Chairman, kang nakaaging simana, nagdesisyon kita na magbirisita. Nagkahiriling taman, gabos. Sabi nga ni Councilor Abunal, siya ang po daduman, approve na, sila nakabot. Baka nagduwa-duwa. So pwede tanang, kaya Madam Chairman, nagluluwas na si detalye na haputun na muna ang gabos na nagduruman kung talagang okay kita duman sa lugar na ito. Ta kung iyo di ipadagos pagdae di punduho na ini. Yun ay hiling kong posibleng pwedeng pag solusyon ng Sangguniang ta magpa-represent o baka leman palan. Ito na muna, Madam Chairman, si pagtubod ta, pwede ba duman sa lugar na ito talaga ang eastbound van terminal? Mag-decide kita ngunyan, Madam Chairman, before na maghahapot kita kayan. Ang madesisyon kayan, Madam Chairman, maski pagkatapos pagtararam kang mga tulong opisyalis, kung mag-decide makitang dae, di dae man talaga yan. Pero pag nag-decide kita ngunyan na iyo, gusto sabihin, dire-diretso na yan, Madam Chairman. So, yun na lang siguro, Madam Chairman, ang technical working group kaniyong proposed eastbound terminal, sige na lang baralik-balik igdi sa tuya, sige explain. Baka pwede yun na yan ang decidean ta, Madam Chairman. Uyon kita duman, iyo dae, then baka may mga ibang ideya ang pag-iriba. Salamat.
Madam Chair.
Okay, Honorable Del Rosario.
Madam Chair, this item nakakalendar po ninyo yan under unfinished business, the proposed terms of reference, and in consideration of this, we invited these 3 key officers. I think let them speak now is well within our agenda today, Madam Chair.
Are you raising your hands, Mr. Honorable Baldemoro?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Honorable Labadia has appointed Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, dahil last session, majority of the members of the council went to the site, and I personally nahiling ko po si site, kaya nagre-request, pero nahiling ta po siya diretso. So I may I suggest, Madam Chair, to request the SEPIO, dahil sinda itong may drone, hilingon ta to on the aerial perspective. Dahil kung hihilingon mo siya duman sa katapusan kang tinampo beside the IBM, di talaga maray. Kaya ako po personalmente gusto kong mahiling si aerial view kung saan talaga duman ilalaag itong proposed van terminal. And may I also suggest, Madam Chair, dahil sadit itong lugar and the Robinson nag-o-offer man ng proposed terminal, baka i-consider kang TECOM, the technical committee, na either bangaon or suggest ning route na pwedeng ang ibang rota sa duman sa eastbound proposed eastbound terminal ta, and the other route baka pwede duman sa Robinson. My point, Mr. Chair, why I am still interested duman sa original plan for the proposed eastbound terminal, dahil sa hiling ko po itong pwedeng maging susi para ito pong JMR Coliseum mag-income. Kung papabayaan ta, kung may siyang ilalaag beside the JMR Coliseum, totalmente na pong mayong ma-generate na income for the JMR Coliseum. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable Rentoy.
Madam Chairman, my understanding is that if we are going to talk about the proposed terms of reference now, in effect, we are approving already the site. And in effect, we are already terminating any other options. So what is better now is that we approve first of what site are we agreeable with, and before we talk on the details that is being proposed now with the proposed terms of reference. Thank you.
Yes, can we discuss the issues raised today? May I ask Mr. Perlias, are you ready? Before that, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of the punong barangays at the province of Occidental Mindoro, headed by the barangay officials from Occidental Mindoro. Welcome. Okay, Mr. Pilias, proceed.
Duwang points po, Mr. Chair. I agree that it will help the executive kung may clarity ang Sangguniang sa direction, because ini pong proposal na ni has been with us pang decision for the last 4 years. Kami po nagpo-proceed from the given na I think early 2016 or late 2015 igwan na po kamong pigpasar na resolution na nagsasabing ito ang site. So all our subsequent motions or actions were actually flowing from that directive na ito ang site. That's why we went into the study and we ended up with the terms of reference. So kung kami po sa executive, matatabangan po nindo kami na matawan ng clarity at kung ano talaga ang gigibuon tadigdi sa proposal na ni. Ang pangduwa ka pong punto, itong point man ni Councilor Baldemoro, ini pong study nag-proceed sa assumption na ang policy, itong mga additional na bagong ruta, yung ibubugta kay Robinson. So kung may pagbabago po, although ako personally in favor, pero ang kukonsultahan mo po igdi ang samuyang pamayo, si Mayor Jan. Ang aram niya, ang presumption kaning study is that si existing na eastbound, iyo ang ibubugtak duman. So any change, we will have to consult with our principal. So baka po prudent na tawan man ang executive ning chance to consult with our principal as to the proposal. And at the same time, clarity kung ano talaga ang direction ta in regard to the eastbound. Yun man lang po yan, Your Honor.
Honorable Del Castillo and Honorable Castillo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With the statement, Madam Chair, of the City Planning and Development Coordinator, I believe that we should defer consideration of this matter since they are seeking guidance on the overall direction of the city for this particular project. At this point in time, there are reservations of the members of the body as far as the site is concerned. I share that sentiment, Madam Chair, because of the recent visit, and I also subscribe to the suggestion of the Honorable Baldemoro that an aerial view be taken on the site so that we can decide objectively on this particular matter. I'm not saying that we are not for the location. We are not agreeable to the proposed location, but we should be objective in deciding on this particular project, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. In fact, that was the consensus of those who went to the site to wait for the aerial view so we can actually see. Taiba man po kaya baga si hiling ta itong diretsyo lang, but we didn't know kung pera talaga si area na yaon doon. Duman. That was the suggestion raised during our inspection. But before Honorable Arroyo, I'd like to we listen first to Honorable Castillo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nalingawan ng pati ako. What is the final recommendation, Madam Chair, of the City Planning Office regards to the eastbound terminal? Maputangyari si Mr. Prilles kay itong offer ni Binsia. Ano po si final stand? Final recommendation kan City Planning. Kaya naman po sa bago, asin po ano naman ang recommendation kan City Planning, di sa bagong offer, di sa bagong location. Haroy po kita nagpara-diskusyon kay niyo, haroy ta pong pagtratar si offer ni Binsia, siguro 2 taon na. May man po kitang penalty, hindi ta pag-determinate. Tapos maarulay naman po kita kaning bagong proposed terms of reference, di po sa GMR, lagang magkakararibong po kita. Dapat, tapusin naman na po itong offer ni Binsia. Kaya, haputon ta po gayaray, si Mr. Prilles kung ano si final recommendation, ano si final stand niya duman sa offer ni Binsia. Mr. Prilles.
Okay, Mr. Prilles. Kindly answer.
Di man po pig-repair sa opisina, sige, Mr. siya. Pero sinatatandaan kong surat na pigpadala ko sa Sangguniang in regards to the matter. Sundon lang po siya sa ordinansa. For example, Kung ma-apply ka ng terminal, may mga requirements yan. For example, sa titulo, sa kakayahan, etc. Tanganing taraton siya kung talagang yan ang intensyon kang Sangguniang. Pero kung apoton po ninong executive, kami po bound kami kang pigsubiter mi sa indo ining eastbound terminal on that site. Aloy minamo po yan pigadalan, kami po nagtutubod na makakatabang iyan especially sa GMR Coliseum dahil ang pinaka-idea po talaga niya itong bigsabi ni Councilor Baldemoro. Pero at the end of the day, kamo po ang masabi kayan sa muya. As I said, haloy na po ining issue na pending sa Sangguniang. It will help both of us kung may clarity na kita kung anong gigibuhon digdi sa issue.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Chairman, ano po ang pagkasabi, Mr. Previous, kang ordinansa manawad po din sa GMR, din sa location?
Can you wait?
Ano po ang stand po kayo?
Honorable Castillo, can you wait for me to acknowledge you first before you make your point?
Sorry, Madam Chair. Sorry. I'm sorry. My apology.
There was, who were the ones raising their hands? Is it Miss Honorable Labadia and Honorable Arroyo? Okay, Honorable Arroyo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. But before my point, may I request the Chair to kindly acknowledge first the Honorable Castillo because I think he has a follow-up question so that he will be finished first in his points.
Okay, Honorable Castillo, you are acknowledged. You can make your point.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pagkasabi po kaya ni Mr. Prilis, ikaw na ang ordinansa ang binabasihan naman sa offer ni Bincia. Ngunyan, gusto ko kaya po si Mr. Prilis, ano po ang sinasabi kong ordinansa? Manunungo, tigdi sa bagong location sa GMR. Tanganing may city planning, iyan ang opisina na magayad sa tuya, matabang sa tuya. Dapat sabihin mo na ang pagkasabi kang ordinansa, ang tamang lugar, ini sa GMR, bako yung kibinsya, tanganing medyo kami man, dahil kami nasasakitan.
Kaya, Mr. Prilyes.
Actualmente po, kung babalikan tayo si ordinansa na pinagpasar kang Sangguniang, di po sinasabi duman na may autoridad ang planning office, yung magsabi kung arin na lugar. Sinabi lang po niya kung saan pwede. Ang sinasabi po duman na igwaning sarong grupo ang Technical Evaluation and Compliance Committee na siya ang ma-evaluate kang gabos na proposals. May papel po kami duman, ang saro sa papel, may hilingon si mga plano, may papel ang budget office. So, ang punto mi lang po, duman sa huri kong surat, kung kukonsidero tang araw kayo na private offer, we'll have to follow the mandates of that ordinance. So, baka ang sarong pwedeng gibuhon, i-convene itong ordinance na ito, hilingon ang proposal ni Mr. Yap. Pero at the same time, kami po, may bibutasan ang proposal mita. Kami po nagtutubod na makakatabang ini sa JR Coliseum. Pero ito pong pagbabago na propose ni Councilor Baldemoro, ang punto mimam po, dahil pagbabago ito digdi sa proposal, kukonsulton mo po si Mayor Janta. Siya po ang samuyang pamayo sa Executive Department.
Okay, does that satisfy you, Honorable Castillo?
Ang city planning po kaya dapat igwa maning paninindugan. Bako kung anong sasabihin kang legislative, sabihin ni Mayor Bungat, ito ang tama. Dapat ang opisina ng city planning, iba man ng direksyon na ini ang tama, iba man ang mayor, iba man ang legislative, pero ang opisina niya dapat iba man ng direksyon, Madam Chairman.
Pero as stated by the Mr. Prilyes, may sinusunod po kitang ordinansa. Nakita man po sinagpasar. Okay, Honorable Labadia? Ay, Honorable Arroyo first. And nainot ka sa
Madam Chairman, araw po kani para simple. Malinawon ba kasi sabi ni Mr. Willie Prilyes, ang binabasihan ta, ordinansa para magbugtak ka ning sarong terminal. Ang hapot tangon yan, si Pig Sumiter ni Engineer Bencia, ano si mga violation niya duman sa pag-submit niya kang papeles, taday ita ma-aprobaran. Ang city, sabi ni Mr. Willie Prilyes, kang City Planning Development Office, ang otrong ko lang ni Madam Chairman, binibase ta ang pag-approve ng terminal base sa ordinansa. So, ang hapot ko lang yan, luman sa mga sapig submit ni Engineer Bencia, ano si violation niya luman sa ordinansa, taano taday ita ma-aprobaran. Ang hinahagad ni Engineer Bencia na ang company nila iyo ang tawanan taning authority na mag-operate kang eastbound terminal.
Mr. Prilles?
Ulitin ko po sinabi ko, parte lang po ang samayang opisina kang create under that ordinance na Technical Evaluation and Compliance Committee. Ang ma-assess po kang kada application will have to be the TECOM. So what sabihin po, kay po antang i-activate ang TECOM, tanganing si mga manlain-lain na ahensya na dapat maghiling sa manlain-lain na components kang proposal, makahiling po kayan and maka-come up ng final recommendation. Kaya may po kami kapangyarihan ang samayang opisina na yung magsabi na yung udai. Ito pong TECOM ang igwakan RP na authority.
Pero during the committee hearing at the Transport Committee, did you submit itong sinahagad ninda mga comments with regards to the proposal of Engineer Bencia?
Day ko po isita, day man ako na sabihan kan ba.
Okay.
Baka po si mapag-iriba mi sa TECOM.
Madam Chair.
Do you have a follow-up question, Honorable Labadia?
So, dumaan na kita, Madam Chairman, sa follow-up ko, kung bako ang office niya, itong TECO, ano si sabi kang TECO, ano si violation kang application ni Engineer Bencia duman sa pag-apply nindang eastbound terminal. Ano ang sabi kang TECO? Dahil man, may nabasa ako duman, Madam Chairman, dahil man nagkasabi kung ano ang violation, basta sabi ninda, habo ninda duman. Dahil man pwede magsabing habo mi duman. Siguro, dahil pwede duman dahil may violation ka mo sa araw ka ini yung section or whatever na nakasabi duman sa ordinansa. Iyan siguro ang importante, Madam Chairman, sa kuya. Isabi mo kung ano ang na-violate duman sa application ni Kang Ruby Shelter, Madam Chairman.
Mr. Prilles, was there any recommendations from your committee, from your office?
Again, ang baka first step po, i-convince si TECOM, hilingon itong proposal, tanganing makasumiter ng findings. Kami po, bako kami ang TECOM, membros na kami kang TECOM.
Okay, can we ask the chairman before Honorable Arroyo? Can we ask the chairman of the Committee on Transport if
Mr.
this
Chair,
was taken up
Madam
during
Chair.
your committee hearings?
Madam Chair, as far as the TECOM report is concerned, nabasa ko na po siya. Actually, as a matter of fact, furnish kita ka ito. Pig-submit ito sa Sangguniang siguro mga 3 sessions ago. Yun ang itong pig-repair ni Councilor Labadiang nabasa niya. Siguro we asked Tintin to show it sa ano rin. Because sigwa na po ning report ang TECOM as far as the proposed terminal ni Engineer Bencia, just to settle the issue.
Before that, can Honorable Arroyo?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Siguro po, to refresh our memory, ang very clear na decision kang Sangguniang, there's an ordinance actually that has been passed. Pig-identify ta po ang Almeda Highway, Diversion Road, and CBD2 as possible sites for the eastbound, integrated eastbound terminal. So very clear yan. Now, nagkaigwa ka itong mga proseso and nag-bidding, failed bidding, duman sa mga nag-bid for an eastbound terminal. Kaya hanggang ngunyan mayo kita ka itong permanent eastbound terminal. Kaya kay punta ng eastbound terminal, we approved temporarily, no, as temporary eastbound terminal, ini yung kay Engineer Shah, digdiyo sa harani kang St. Joseph. Since ini yung site na ini, the temporary terminal, may mga questions din concerning the proximity to school. Ang proposal kang executive was to use yung 7,000 property ta sa kataid kang JMR Coliseum. Dakulan din kitang reservation duman. Pero si pinaka-reason kang, but we approved it, considering na mayo nga ni kitang nahihiling na alternative at that time. In-approve ta siya as ang eastbound terminal as the site, but subject to certain conditions, Madam Chair. The condition being da mag-cause ng congestion in the already congested area right now. Kaya sabi ta, ang condition ta para talaga daguso na iyan ang gibo na eastbound terminal is mailaag talaga ang mga roads, no? Both ingress and egress from the terminal, ingress to and egress from the terminal. Pero kang pikhiling ta, nag-site visit kita kang last week, bako lang pala ni issue ng congestion ang dapat i-address ta because there's also an issue of cost. Dahil itong gigibo na tinampo, Madam Chair, hararo mo na maray. And igwang dakulo ng mga pamilyang maapektuhan. So siguro, other than the aerial view that we should see, we should also be presented with a realistic estimate of the actual cost that the city will spend if we will really pursue that area as our eastbound terminal. So, dakulon mga issues about that terminal, and hanggang dahil talaga maging klaro, Madam Chair, ang marahay na kalsada papunta as in pahali dyan sa terminal na iyan, I would not favor to pursue the putting up of the eastbound terminal in that area. Talagang unnegotiable. Non-negotiable talaga ang mga roads na ilalaagta dyan. But we have to see the expenses. Hararumon. No? Hararumon ang fill upan ta para makagibo kita ng mga kalsada papunta duman. Not to mention the cost of acquiring the site kasi mga privately owned ang mga sites na aagihan kang mga roads na iyan. So, in the meantime, itong proposal ni Engineer Shah, digdi naman sa may harani naman kang NICC, igwa rin question ang NICC. No? So, gapos ini, titiri-tirim bangon ta, because kita po ang ma-decide dyan. Ang CPDO, ang TECOM are only recommendatory. Kita po ang ma-desisyon sa satuyang informed decision kung ano talaga ang satuyang kigibuhon na decision. Right now, igwa rin kitang pigko-consider digdiyo sa Robinsons, may ino-offer din sinda. But we also have to remember na igwa din kitang ordinansa mandating an integrated terminal. So, i-reconsider ta na ba, ma-motion kitang for amendment kang sa tuyang ordinansa mandating an integrated terminal. So, all these things we have to consider. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Based on the comments of the different members of the committee, I think the proposal of Honorable Del Castillo to defer this first. Okay, kindly put that into motion for the deferment.
Actually, Madam Chair, it was already moved and seconded few minutes ago.
Second. Okay. Before the deferment?
But corollary to that, Madam Chair, I believe that we should direct our secretary to send a communication to the CPU through Mr. Riondanga to conduct an aerial survey of the site so that we can
and also the cost estimate as suggested by Honorable Arroyo.
As manifested by the Honorable Arroyo, the cost estimate for the construction of the road to and from the proposed terminal. So that, kumbaga,
the cost estimate
omnibus,
is
mahiling
addressed to the
tanakon, ano talaga ang dapat na aksyon nagigibuon tayo niyo?
For the aerial view of the site, the letter will be addressed to the CPO.
And siguro,
the
Madam
cost
Chair,
estimate will be from the City Engineer's Office.
Yeah, Madam Chair, siguro bako lang si aerial view, kundi saan si proposed ingress and egress to the proposed terminal, including the cost estimate as requested by the Honorable Arroyo.
Okay, the Secretary.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
So, directed. Okay, this motion is, do you have any comment? Honorable Abunal.
Much earlier, Madam Chair, while Mr. Riondanga was here, I already suggested for us to request for that aerial view, aerial shot plus actual outline of the area covered, including the road, the plan, road plan, etc. para mahilinta po ang kaintiruhan. Number one, pirang structures ang tatamaan. I heard na yung kudal kang JMR kakabaon nganing maging part kang tinampo, etc. Up to now, all we have seen would be drawing kang plano, dahil man nakasabi kung pirang barong-barong ang tatamaan, hahaliun, dahil man nakasabi duman kung pira ang magiging epekto duman sa kudal, and so on. I don't think we can make a final decision until that is provided, Madam Chair.
Okay, this matter is deferred. Next. Next item.
The report of the Committee on Laws, Ordinances, and Reorganization.
Honorable Rentoy.
Madam Chair, may I seek acknowledgement of the report of the Committee on Laws and Ordinances.
Your report is acknowledged.
There were two items tackled by the committee. First, proposed resolution authored by the Honorable City Youth Councilor Christopher Ken Mendoza, entitled Resolution Reorganizing and Reorienting the Youth Peer Support Group, Children and Youth Association, and Parent Support Group of the Positive Discipline Advocacy in the city to the 27 barangays as project sites and to chosen project schools in accordance to the past ordinance number 2013-026 authored by the Honorable Ray Ann Cedric Rentoy. May I go directly to the disposition?
Okay, proceed.
On motion of the Honorable Salvador del Castillo, duly seconded, the committee resolved to defer the matter for some modification and further study. I so move, Madam Chair.
Deferred.
Proposed item number 2, proposed ordinance authored by the Honorable Elmer S. Baldimoro, entitled Ordinance Mandating Accessibility to Information by Persons with Disability in Naga City, providing mechanisms and appropriating fund for the purpose. Again, may I go directly to the disposition, Madam Chair? On motion of the Honorable Gregorio Rea Abunal, seconded by the Honorable Salvador M. del Castillo, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to pass an ordinance mandating accessibility to information by persons with disability in Naga City, providing for mechanisms and appropriating fund for the purpose, subject to some modification and refinement, incorporating some suggestions during the committee hearing. May we know from the proponent, Madam Chair, whether he has already submitted before this chamber the revised copy of his proposed ordinance.
Honorable Baldimoro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I request Madam Chair to defer the proposed ordinance to be submitted in the next session, the revised copy.
So we calendar the same under unfinished business, the next regular session, Madam Chair.
Okay, this matter is deferred.
That ends the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Rentoy. Next item.
The report of the Committee on Ways and Means.
Honorable Abunal.
Madam Chair, kindly acknowledge the report of the Committee on Ways and Means on its June 22 committee and public hearing.
Your report is acknowledged.
Madam Chair, although there were 33 participants outside of the committee wasn't able to muster a quorum. Therefore, we are submitting the decision. We're submitting the disposition for action by the Sangguniang in its as a committee of the whole. Madam Chair, there was only one item. The item was the proposed ordinance. An ordinance reiterating the social service mission of the health and medical services and facilities of the City of Naga through the City Health Office, the Naga City Hospital, and Our Lady of Lourdes Infirmary, and prescribing the fees and charges for their services and facilities. Just 3 items as a background, Madam Chair. The resolution came about initially on the recommendation, on the request and recommendation of the Naga City Hospital for revision of its fees, most of them downward, lessening the charges. Secondly, we found out that the City Health Office as well as Our Lady of Lourdes Infirmary, for their services and facilities, both offices were charging based on the original amendment to the fees and charges. And third, on recommendation of the city health officer, we decided that we would consolidate the charges to apply to all three services: the city hospital, the city health office, and Our Lady of Lourdes. Therefore, Madam Chair, we are recommending for the adoption and approval of the proposed ordinance, subject to the Committee of the Whole, the Sangguniang. What we have would therefore be ordinance as submitted. If we go to section 3, that would contain the fees and charges as indicated. If there are questions, we would take them.
Honorable Arroyo, then Honorable Baldemoro. Honorable Arroyo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The ordinance is entitled Reiterating the Social Service Mission of the Health and Medical Services and Facilities of the City of Naga. But what is presented to us are fees, no, for our services. So that we will really appreciate that this ordinance is to reiterate the social service mission of these services. We should be presented with a comparative rate.
Can we please have that in?
Rate of similar institutions. So can we have Madam Chair, so that we can really see that our rates are lower to reiterate the social service mission of these facilities of the city.
Can we please have the worksheet that we used? Okay. What is presented here was the worksheet that we used for the public hearing. The fees as reorganized are in the first column. The second column indicates the request proposal of the city hospital. The third column would be according to the prevailing fees and charges based on Ordinance 2013-65, and then Our Lady of Lourdes Infirmary and City Health charges. Okay. There would have been another column to be filled up for the charges in private hospitals, but we had no authority to do that. Although in pencil, we asked the Honorable Ranyola to pencil in prevailing charges, and generally they are much higher than those charged by the ordinance, the prevailing ordinance, and even by the charges of our hospitals. It is easy to believe that the private hospitals and clinics do charge much higher rates. Dr. Ranyola can attest to that. Very clearly, ito na lang po, how much is consultation fee? Dr. Ranyola, normally it's 300 to, depende po sa specialization. The minimum is 300 consultation. There is no consultation fee sa Satuyang hospital or clinics. That's for sure. Okay. Other than that, sa hospital po, ganito ang nangyayari. First, the rates that we proposed are rates for the paying patients. That's not for the free. In other words, we had to peg a fee for those who would pay. Okay. Now, what happens is, the SWD office can give you wads of documents. What happens is, let us say that somebody goes for major operation, nga 3.5, then they go to the social workers hospital who would evaluate and give an amount which is to be a discount. Let's say yung 3.5 ngaya, 1.5 na lang, etc. Pag wala pa ring pera, pupunta pa rin dyan sa office and dyan sa DSWD, i-discount pa rin. Okay? That is normally what happens. Okay? Now, kung social mission, the social mission is that we are charging much less. Okay? We don't have figures here, but may I just... This is the statement of financial performance of the Naga City Hospital for the year ended 2016. The revenue, total revenue is 8 million. Total expenditure is 23 million. And therefore, it should be losing something like 14 million. Okay? And that is basically because of the discounts and the lower charges. Okay?
Madam Chair? In which case, may we be presented with a comparison from Ordinance 2013. Can you scroll down? Because as far as can be seen, the rates are the same.
A guidance lang po, guidance. Those highlighted in green were those that had increases.
Yes.
Those highlighted in blue are those that had decreases.
Increases.
What would be the justification for the increases? Generally, the justification for the increase is because ang term niya is new technology. In other words, there were acquisition of equipment that are now being used and are being used and therefore are charging accordingly. Yung sa decrease, ang explanation nila is because of the suppliers, because of lower cost of the supplies. Okay?
Yes, can we therefore scroll down everything so that we will see whether there are more blue than green?
There definitely are more green than blue.
Yes, and therefore our title would not be reflective of the content of our ordinance. I think we have to change the title. If the objective really is to reiterate the mission of these services as a really service mission, it should be reflected in the ordinance itself. I think it's a misnomer.
Okay, if that is the mind of the body, let's just remove the service mission.
Maybe prescribing fees, no?
Yeah.
To professionalize the services in the city hospital.
But definitely it cannot be na babaan talukod ang fees.
Yes.
Because that's suicidal.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. So comment on the title, Madam Chair, it doesn't reflect the body of the ordinance. Second comment, the chair of the committee mentioned earlier about this practice or what we do where, for example, even if there's an ordinance setting certain rates for certain services, the city social welfare would actually, for example, allow a discount or render assistance. If that particular situation is not covered in this ordinance, then there will be no authority to continue doing that. Because under section, can we scroll down on section, the second to the last section? Yes, the repealing clause. Any or all ordinances, rules, and regulations inconsistent with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. I believe there should be a section providing for what you have just mentioned, so that those actions will be sanctioned or allowed under this ordinance. Otherwise, this ordinance will foreclose any such practice that we are doing in the city. So there should be a provision where these rates would apply except on certain conditions or in conditions of indigency as may be certified, something like that. Otherwise, this ordinance will foreclose that particular practice.
Okay. Well taken. May I just check first? It seems to me that it's standard in all government hospitals to have DSWD personnel that indeed assesses the capabilities of the patients kung hihingi sila ng discounts. I personally experienced that in a Manila government hospital. I would suspect that that is nationwide practice. Nevertheless, we would be willing to add a section that says that certain considerations are given through the DSWD. Okay. Dr. Ranyola, please.
Well, I would like...
Sorry po. Sige na, ika na.
Would you like me to vacate the seat for you, Honorable Labonan?
Mahali ka, paghali mo, dahil kumaribay sa imo.
Okay, Honorable Ranyola and Honorable Baltimoro, you have a query?
Well, that is, Madam Chair, a force of habit because it was my teacher who called me, so I have to stand up. I would like to assure our colleagues in here that this was being studied well, not only between me and the personnel of the Naga City Hospital, but that includes the board, the local health board, because there is really a need now to increase the fees. If you will note, I even sent to the Honorable Abonal the fees at the NICC Doctors Hospital, because at least one of the lowest fees in here around in the city of Naga. No? I know the fees at St. John Hospital because I was the one who made it, and it is still existing now. So that is the reference that was being done by the Honorable Abunal. So this is in preparation for the Naga City Hospital to go up to level 2. When we say level 2, that we will get now a certificate, an authority from the Department of Health to go on with medium and major operations, which is not being done now. We are only up to minor surgical intervention because it is only level 1. So this is in preparation kasi luging-lugi talaga ang city hospital. So this is the reason why we ask for an increase. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ranyola. Honorable Baltimoro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I know, Madam Chair, the wisdom of the proponent regarding the repealing clause? May mga ordinance po kaya kita na one is the authored by the Honorable Ranyola na all senior citizens are free in the yes po, in the Naga City Hospital. Another, Madam Chair, I also authored a pre-executive check-up for all the barangay official. Kung nakalag po duman all the ordinance will be repealed, baka makabali ito. So, baka po duman sa repealing clause, maging may limitation lang. And another, Madam Chair, on just an observation on Section 2, Maki plus Tabi 10, may I know po from the Honorable Arroyo, being the lecturer on the preparation of the resolution in ordinances, my observation po, this might be explanatory note, not section. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable Arroyo.
I believe the Honorable Baltimoro is a very good student. Yes, Madam Chair. Section 2 would actually form part of the explanatory note for this particular ordinance.
Section 2 is there
yes,
only because of the title. But
yes.
if we're revising the title, then section 2 can go right ahead as explanatory note.
Yes, but it can still form part of the explanatory note, even if we revise the title.
Yeah, ang importante lang po kaya, the budget officer is not here now, but notice that in an earlier meeting, the budget officer already was saying that the city hospital and all these may have to be declared as economic enterprises. But even as they are declared economic enterprises, the mission is still social service. Kaya pinag-insist namin yun. But if that is to be revised, then we're open to such revision, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any other remarks? None? Okay, Honorable Labanan.
Yung pong question on the repealing clause, the applicability for senior citizens, yung mga city employees and all the benefits, we'll take a look at section 3 or section 4, I think.
Please ensure that section 310.
That we will review yung repealing clause na yun to make sure na yung mga existing benefits are still granted.
So this matter is deferred for the next regular session.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Labanal. Honorable Del Castillo.
To recess, Madam Chair. Recess.
Okay, but before the recess, can I turn over the chair? Recess.
We are proud. We want the world to come to us and be a part of our hopes, of our dreams, of our new beginning. We will make a different start. We will now open up our door, a city like you've never seen before. Come feel the vibrance, come hear us shout. Experience magic, come to the south. With one proud city, we welcome you. What you've been looking for, we have it too. With our commitment, we want you to know that we are here and we're about to show that Naga smiles to the world. 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 Naga smiles to the world.
Naga City in the Bicol region has been known for its evolving unique governance paradigms and local governance programs. In fact, it has been recognized by various national and international institutions, receiving numerous awards for these achievements. The city leadership, with the people's ardent support, continues to inspire creativity, participation, and productivity. Like his predecessor, the late DILG Secretary Jesse M. Robredo, incumbent Mayor John G. Bongat continues to bring honor to the city, the latest of which, among others, is Naga's being a judge for 2 consecutive years, 2015 to 2016, as the country's overall #1 most competitive component city. Naga was likewise chosen in 2013 and 2016 as one of the top next wave cities of the Philippines. Also in 2014, the Lee Kuan Yew Institute of Public Policy of the National University of Singapore recognized Naga's ICT-driven project entitled Using ICT for Civic Engagement Towards Responsive Decision-Making as the most inspiring innovation in e-government and participatory innovations in Asia. Mayor Bongat's aggressive pro-investment platform has yielded positive results. In 2014, BLGF certified that Naga has developed a strong local revenue base from real property and business taxes because of its robust economy, controlling a 44% share in the total revenues of all 7 cities in the Bicol region, a feat that remains unparalleled to date. To cap it all, Mayor Bongat himself received in 2016 the prestigious CEO Excel Award given by the International Association of Business Communicators Philippines for its exemplary leadership in the field of public service. Mayor Bongat, with his game-changing leadership raised by a solid foundation of good governance, is expected to continue leading his beloved city to greater heights. Competitiveness and livability has been the city government's focus since Mayor Bongat assumed office in July 2010. The efforts can be summed up in our Help Your City agenda, which stands for help, health, housing and the urban poor, education, arts, culture and sports development, livelihood, employment and human development, peace and order and public safety, cleanliness and environmental protection, and transparency, accountability and good governance. Truly, Naga City has evolved into a community that is worth living, enjoyable, and sustainable. However, the most important element of Naga City is its people. So, the city government exerts extra effort in providing and sustaining programs for the various sectors. Aside from the multi-awarded Naga City People's Council, NCPC, which is the primary venue for participation in governance by the organized sectors, the city maintains development and programs for its urban poor, PWDs, senior citizen, youth, and women. These programs, offices, and organizations have become institutional expressions of the care and attention provided by the city government to every Nagueño, Nagueña. Just recently, the Manila Times has chosen Naga as one of the top 10 model livable cities in the country. Naga City, beyond being livable, is well on its way to being lovable city, inspiringly livable and adorable indeed.
that there's so much to share and learn. And by way of this special sisterhood partnership with our cities, it will not only open doors for opportunities for exchange in governance, commerce, tourism, education, environment, livelihood, youth and sports development, culture and the arts, heritage conservation, social services, and citizens empowerment, but also foster the blending of two cultures, a heritage city and a pilgrim city.
So on behalf of the city government of Naga, thank you very much to the city government of Vigan, headed by Mayor Carlo and Vice Mayor Lourdes Bakiran, and the entire officialdom of the city of Vigan for this golden opportunity to be sister with the city of Naga.
Historically, we are twins whose umbilical cords can be traced to the papal bull entitled Super Specula Militantes Ecclesia, issued by Pope Clement VIII on August 14, 1595, that established the Spanish colonial cities of Nueva Cáceres and Nueva Segovia, making our respective territories the first four royal cities in the Philippines that include Manila and Cebu.
the faithful of God.
Ranyola.
Request for the acknowledgement of this report.
The report is acknowledged.
Business for the day. Letter dated May 30, 2017 of His Honor the City Mayor requesting for authority to negotiate and enter into Memorandum of Agreement with the Department of Health, DOH operated Camarines Sur Treatment and Rehabilitation Center following the procedures under pertinent laws and subject for ratification. May I go to the disposition, Madam Chair? On motion of Honorable Elmer Bardemoro, seconded by Honorable Gregorio Abunal, Honorable M. de Castillo and Honorable de Castillo, the committee resolved to recommend to Sangguniang Panlungsod to pass a resolution authorizing His Honor the City Mayor to negotiate and enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Health following the procedure under pertinent laws and subject for ratification by the Sangguniang Panlungsod. So I move.
Any second?
The next is first endorsement dated June 7, 2017 of the Office of the City Mayor endorsing the letter dated May 24, 2017 of Ms. Miriam N. Martin, President Nephro Synergist Incorporated, informing that the Naga City Dialysis Center is now operational and ready to serve the city constituents with attached copy of the draft implementing guidelines for the operation of the said dialysis center and extending credit line to the city government of Naga. May I go to the disposition, Madam Chair? On motion of Honorable Del Castillo, duly seconded, the committee resolved to defer action on the matter pending submission of the required documents. I so move.
Any second? A question, Honorable Arroyo?
Yes, Madam Chair, may we know, therefore, if the facility is therefore not yet operational, considering...
It's not yet operational because they don't have yet the permit to operate.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
That ends up my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ranyola. Next item.
The proposed ordinance of Honorable Julian Silabadea Jr. appropriating the amount of 1.5 million to cover the grant of education assistance for calendar year 2017 for officials and employees of the city government chargeable against the 2016 surplus.
Considering that the proponent is not he is around. Honorable Abunal.
Madam Chair, I know that this item is pending before the Committee on Appropriation.
Yes, our recommendation on the of the Committee on Appropriation is to refer this back to the proponent for legal, I think.
Last time, Madam Chairman,
legal opinion?
ang hinahanap si basis kaini.
Legal basis or opinion?
Higo ang ngunyan di Madam Chairman tong approved ordinance kang 2005 number 2005-054, an ordinance appropriating the amount of 888,000 pesos to cover the grant of education assistance for 2005 of officials and employees of the city government of Naga chargeable against the salary savings. Approved po ini kan 2005. Ini yung Madam Chairman sarong proposed ordinance na matawanan ta si mga empleyado ta uli ngunya na pag burukasan kang klase. So kung i-consider kang pag-iriba, nagmo-motion po ako na ma-approve ning ordinance ang ini. Per empleyado, Madam Chairman, is 1,000 pesos. 800 plus duman sa regular employee, and then 300 plus sa casual. Job order and casual, Madam Chairman, ang total is 1,566. So, ang amount, Madam Chairman, kung i-consider ta is 1,566,000. Iyan si total na pigtao po sa tuya kang Human Resource Management Office. 1,566,000. Iibata na si contractual and job order, Madam Chairman. And chargeable against the 2016 surplus.
Okay, approved. It was duly seconded. Honorable Abunal, before the approval.
Do we have detail of what we are assisting them with. Like ano yan, tuition, books, or whatever miscellaneous expenses, or just plain giveaway. I think that may have to be specified. Secondly, kung baga iba-iba ang grant sa iba-ibang status, I think that should also be specified in the ordinance. Third, Madam Chair, ano pa baga ang 2016 surplus? Again, naman kitang figure kayan kung gurano pa ang 2016 surplus na yan. Dahil there were pending yung request ng executive, siningitan baga tuning para sa Marawi, and what was it, 700 something napiga-proban kang Sangguniang. So at this point we don't know how much the surplus is.
Honorable Labadia.
Yes, Madam Chairman. Ang aram ko igwa pa itong sa tinampo pa lang, Madam Chairman, garo more or less it's more than 50 million pa ang sobra. Nahiling ko duman, Madam Chairman, sa proposal, matao kita ning mga playground sa mga educare, garo millions to, Madam Chairman. Makikitang poste, mga pailaw. Sa hiling ko, Madam Chairman, kadaklan sa mga empleyado nakabakal naman ng mga libro, uniform, siba mayo pang sapatos. So dakulas po siguro ang may tatabang kung makatao man lang kita kisira 1,000 sa mga empleyado as grant of educational assistance parang kunya na taon, dahil kadakol man kitang surplus, Madam Chairman, especially itong pick-up-operate ang 110 million para sa basura, para sa sanitary landfill. Baka pwede para sa tao, makakuha man lang sindaning at least 1,000, iguha man lang 1,566,000 compare duman sa basurang pick-up-operate na 110 million. So, Madam Chairman, iniimbitaran ko po siguro gabos on a joint and collective motion, though nag-second na si Councilor Lito del Rosario. I would say na i-amenda na lang, this would be on a joint and collective motion, and I would like to request the Secretary to please, itong sponsored by, halion na lang po ito, considering na talagang si gabos man talagang pangaral mi ikakaag. Again, Madam Chairman, I would like to request the Secretary to remove the sponsor, and my motion would be joint and collective, Madam Chairman.
Okay, Honorable Rentoy.
Madam Chairman, sa hiling ko mas duman sa mga empleyado na may mga student, Madam Chairman. Kung mayo naman siyang aki, Madam Chairman, I'm sure may makuapo man siya, and kasi pinapaadal, sabi ni Councilor Lito and Councilor Vidal. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Okay. The motion is approved. Next item.
The proposed ordinance of Honorable Joselito Isaito Rosario as Chairman of the Committee on Transport and the members of the committee, amending Ordinance number 2006-065 by expanding the wheel clamp area coverage and authorizing the towing of abandoned, stalled, and illegally parked vehicles, providing regulations for disposition of towed automobiles and imposing penalties for violations thereof.
Honorable Del Rosario.
Madam Chair, in consultation with my co-members, Councilor Del Castillo, Councilor Baldemoro, and Councilor Tomas Ramon Sanchez Jr., we would like to present to the Sangguniang the a summary of major considerations as far as this ordinance is concerned. Present. The order of presentation will be a review of the certain streets within the Naga Centro, also the streets surrounding our Centro, and the streets in the CBD2, and the summary of proposed regulations and the other concerns. Please give me, Madam Chair, 10 minutes to propose this. Now, as far as the streets within Naga Centro, we have Elias Angeles, General Luna, J. Hernandez, P. Burgos, and Cáceres streets. Next. This is a Google shot of the streets and the superimposition. Now, Madam Chair, next. As far as the major streets, as far as Elias Angeles, from corner Bagumbayan Street, from Cathedral to corner Cáceres Street, and the existing regulations, the Ordinance 93-049, we have there the motorcycle parking at left side of the street at the back of business establishments, such as E-Mall, Abella Building, and others. And we have there the no parking at the right side of the street anytime. And number 3, the parallel parking is allowed in the left side of the street from traffic light to corner Panganiban Extension and parking areas provided by the business establishments. As to the wheel clamp implementation, this is based on an ordinance. This is ongoing, Madam Chair, at the right side of the streets, and our proposed regulations as far as towing of vehicles will be applied anytime for vehicles that are parked within the right side of the street. And wheel clamp will be applied anytime for motorcycles and tricycles that are parked within the right side street. And parallel parking and parking on the parking areas provided by the business establishments. And next, this is as far as the another one major street. Next, the General Luna from Naga People's Mall to Naga City Police Office. As far as Ordinance 93-049, ang parking tapo dyan sa parking in front of Naga City People's Mall is not allowed. No parking at the right side of the street anytime. And there is a motorcycle parking on the left side of the street. And oblique parking in front of business establishments as Metrobank and PNB. Ongoing po nyan ang wheel clamp implementation, the right side of the said street. And our proposed regulatory measure, Madam Chair, is towing of vehicles will be applied any type of vehicles that are parked within the right side of the street. And as far as motorcycles and tricycles, the wheel clamping. And number 3, existing motorcycle parking and oblique parking will be further be allowed. Next. This is as far as the Hernandez Street, Madam Chair. The J. Hernandez Avenue from the UNC, Gate 1 to Zamora Street, back of Naga City People's Mall. As far as the existing ordinance, 93-049, motorcycle parking at left side of the street at the back of business establishments as PNB, Bichara Mall, and Naga City People's Mall. No parking at the right side of the street anytime, and short time parking is allowed for unloading of goods and product. Short time meaning a very limited time of loading and unloading of goods. And currently, our enforcers are implementing the wheel clamping of at the right side of illegally parked vehicles at the right side of the street. Our proposed regulation, Madam Chair, towing of vehicles will be applied anytime for vehicles that are parked within the right side of the street, and for motorcycles and tricycles will be the wheel clamping. Next. This is as far as P. Burgos. Next. Yan pong P. Burgos, Madam Chair, sa likod kang Plaza Quezon. Next. In front of 15 Martires and Crown Hotel, back of Plaza Quezon to UNC Gate. Sangguniang po, oblique parking ang na-observe ta dyan. The right side of the street at the back of Plaza Quezon to corner Peña Francia Extension. and motorcycle parking being allowed at the side streets in front of Trader Square building, right side of Grand Imperial Plaza, and at the back side of Plaza Quezon. Currently, there is that wheel clamping at the right side of the street from corner of General Luna to UNC. Ano po ang proposed na parking regulation? Towing of vehicle will be applied anytime for vehicles that are parked within the side streets, and wheel clamping of those motorcycles and tricycles that are parked within the side streets. Next. This is as far as Caceres Street, Madam Chair, former Padian Street. Next. Sa Padian po, from corner Naga to Naga City People's Mall, ang 93-049 allows motorcycle parking, no parking at the right side, and short parking allowed to unload goods and products. Currently, welcome is being implemented, and we have the same set of recommendations. And number 3, the short parking will be allowed to unload goods and products within that area. Next. Now, as far as the streets surrounding the Naga Centro, the Roas Avenue, Magsaysay, Peña Francia, MT Villanueva, Jacob Street, Santona, and Ateneo Avenue. First, we have the Roas Avenue, the diversion. As far as diversion, from Tabuco Drive to Rotonda, as per our applicable national laws, parking not allowed in the side streets, and parking is allowed in the parking areas provided by the business establishment. Ini pong item number 2, pwede pong maging subject ni kang further debate. As to wheel club implementation, mayo pa po kita ko niya na pigi-implement dyan sa diversion. And we are proposing the towing of vehicles be applied anytime for vehicles that are parked within the side streets of the Roas Avenue, and the wheel clamping of motorcycles and tricycles that are parked within the side streets. Next. As far as Magsaysay Avenue, from corner Peña Francia Avenue to Rotonda, as per also national laws, parking not allowed in the side streets, and ito lang po may mga business establishments ang allowed sa pag-park provided kang si mga business establishment. As to the implementation of wheel clamp, may pa man pong pig-implement dyan, and we are proposing that towing of vehicles and wheel clamping of vehicles for motorcycles and tricycles. Next. For the Peña Francia Avenue, medyo madugo-dugo po ni. As far as Peña Francia Avenue extension, from corner San Felipe Road to corner Panganiban Avenue. As far as our national laws, they po allowed ang parking dyan. Motorcycle parking is allowed in some areas in front of business establishments as e-mall. Mayo po pong pig-implement dyan na wheel clamp, and we have this set of proposed regulations. Next. As far as MT Villanueva, Liboton, from corner Peña Francia Avenue to Bagong Bayan Street. Also, as far as national laws, bawal lang po dyan. Then, may pong pig-implement na wheel clamp dyan sa lugar na yan. And we have the same set of recommendations. But as far as number 3, right side parking from Bagong Bayan Street to People's Mart. Kung hali ka po naman sa Bagong Bayan, pasiring ka pong City Hall, we are proposing for the use of the right side of the road as parking area. Next. Jacob Street. Ayan po dyan sa may USI. Next. From corner Santona to corner MT Villanueva. Ayan po ni sa may Colegio de Santa Isabel. May pa mapapig-implement na wheel clamp dyan. Then, right side parking facing MT Villanueva from USI Gate 2 to corner of People's Mart. We are proposing right side parking. Left side not allowed. Then, wheel clamp to away zone within non-designated areas. Next slide. As far as Santonha, not allowed in the side streets. As far as wheel clamp, dahil pa po. And we are proposing these two sets of recommendations. Next. As far as Ateneo Avenue, corner Bagumbayan to Ateneo de Naga University Gate 1, parking not allowed in the right side of the street facing Ateneo. Kung atuwang ka po sa Ateneo, ang 93-049 prescribes no parking at the right side of as to wheel clamp, pa po nakaka-implement dyan. Then we also propose these two recommendations. Next. Now within the streets within the CBD, Panganiban Drive and Ninoy and Cory Avenue. As far as Panganiban Drive from Plaza Rizal to Rotonda, yan pong kalabaan kang Plaza kang Panganiban, mula po duman sa Plaza Rizal to Rotonda. Parking not allowed in front of business establishments. No parking for all kinds of vehicles is allowed within side streets of the entire avenue. Dahil pa po nakaka-implement ng wheel clamp, then we are proposing for this two recommendations. Next. Now, as far as Ninoy and Cory Avenue, 93-049 does not allow parking in the side streets. Motorcycle parking not allowed in front of establishments such as SMCT Naga Bicol Central Station. Then we are also proposing for these two sets of recommendations. Next. Now, as to the summary of proposed regulations, dahil ko na po ni Saro-Sarohon, ini po si summary katong mga init na big present ko. Next. 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 Okay. Sa last part po, Madam Chair, po ang mga concerns na piga-atubang tangon yan. Ini pong review of our oblique parking policy dyan sa sentro. Yan pong sa may PNB, yan pong entire General Luna naka-parallel parking, but pag-abot sa PNB, naka-oblique parking. Then we also have questions as far as the areas in front of business establishments intended for private or public parking. Minsan po kaya nagki-claim ang mga establishment owners na nag-atrasinda, nag-setback sinda, itong space na ito, intended ito sa mga customers nila. Dapat sa inda lang ito na ito pwede for public parking. Then also, number 3, we are proposing for parking fee dyan po sa General Luna side kang Naga City People's Mall. Na-observe po dyan kan mga enforcers na ang mga auto po dyan, sa diri kan si mga stall holders dyan, pag nag-parking aga, binabalikan banggi. So, ang proposal na po is 2 hours lang na pre-parking. Then, after that, pwede pong pabayadon tanasinda. Then, ano po ang iapot po ngayon sa Sangguniang, ano po ang magiging policy as far as mga armored vans, yan mga gamit po ng mga bangko. Dahil for security reasons, nagdi-demand man po sila na itong tungod kang bangko ninda, dawa na mayo ning appropriate na parking area, sinasadiri na kan mga bangko, ginagamit na kan mga armored vans. So, yun po niyang areas na medyo dakol-dakol pa kitang natarapuson Sangguniang, but at least po, kapon po giraray kataning discussion niya. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable Abunal.
For clarity lang po, number 1, yung paggamit ng expression na no parking on side streets, nariribong pa ako pag sinabing side street, kumbaga sa yun sa mga iri-iskinita, pero I think what is meant is the side of the street. I think that is what is meant. Pag sinabi pong side of the street, like for example, yung sa San Felipe ngunyan, ang San Felipe na widen na, may kurit po siyang puti. Ang nangyayari, nagiging parking area itong sa luwas kadtong puti. I think there has to be clear distinction yan. Secondly, doon po sa mga two-way streets, ribong ako kung arin ang right side, arin ang left side. Ngayon, no parking the right side. Right side, kung two-way street, both sides yan. The right side niya so padigdiyo, right side man si Paduman. I think that should be clear. Third, sa kadaklan po kasi mga street na pigsasabi, maybe better to say up from corner of Zamora Street. Yeah, from gate of UNC to Zamora Street. Kabali sa Zamora Street. Pero I think what is meant is up to the corner of Zamora Street. Siguro dapat i-specify ko yan. Thank you.
Madam Chair, as far as the first concern, base po sa interpretation may ang side street, iba man sa side road. Probably si Councilor Abunal ang pigre-refer na itong mga tinampong palaog, mga roads beside the side streets. Number 2, ito pong Marisa po nindo, ang ginagamit ko dyan is we avoided the use of southbound, northbound kasi nakakaribong po yan sa layman, sa mga ordinary tao. Ang ginagamit din po is fronting or facing from People's Mart facing Naga Central, right side, para po mas madali, pag na-finalize na po ang ordinance, mas madali po siyang so, MT Villanueva, corner Liboton, People's Mart facing Naga Central, right side. Iyo po yan ang napagkasurundan kang committee.
Honorable Arroyo.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Baka mas magiging maray po siguro ang decision well-informed ang satong decision as to the rules governing certain streets. Kung saro-saroon ta siguro, or siguro bawat section, bakong sararuan si presentation, garo maribong, like, for example, may concern ako duman sa Jacob, from corner Santonha, from corner Santonha hanggang Liboton, corner Liboton. Duman po sa proposal, sabi duman sa right side, kasi there are certain times when that street is declared as one way going towards Liboton. So duman sa oras na one way siya, pero we are proposing nagibuhon allowed parking sa right side. Garo sala siya sa flow ng traffic, kasi kung papunta ka duman, dapat ang nakapark digdi dapat may obstruction, digdi sa direction mo dapat mayo. So dapat bakong digdi ang parking. So baka mas maray kung saro-saron ta sigurong hilingon tangarig ma-consider kang committee itong comments din kang bawat sarong member, Madam Chair. Saro-saron ta siya.
Yes, Madam Chair, we are willing to modify the presentation. Actually po, kaya po nga ninarisan nindo, per street si treatment para po mas pero we're still willing to modify it, kumbaga sa naka-block by block para po sana. We are willing to submit another set of proposal next week.
This matter is deferred.
Yes.
For further modification.
Thank you, thank you.
Next item.
The proposed ordinance of Honorable Mila Esther Kid Arroyo, Honorable Julia Silabadea Jr., and Honorable Cecilia Bidiasis, regulating the operation of commercial and backyard poultry, piggery, and other livestock farms in the city, providing penalties for violations and for other purposes. With this, we also received a letter from the city mayor requesting to expedite the passage of the said proposed ordinance, taking into consideration the recommendations of the Joint Inspection Team.
Honorable Arroyo.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Ang sarong difference po kang backyard, kasi si isyong natatadata na lang last time is definition of backyard farm as against commercial farm. And we identified that in the ordinance, ang major distinction between the two is that for backyard farm, they kay po ng ECC. So may I move, Madam Chair, that we defer consideration and request a comment from the DENR as to the size of the poultry or piggery farms that would require ECC. Kasi pag sinabi ta kayong 300, pero sa DENR palan, kaipuhan ng ECC ang 300, so the consistent ang sa tong ordinance with the national regulation. So Yes,
So
and
this
the
matter is
Department of
deferred. The
Agriculture.
Secretary is instructed to
Yes.
write the DNR
Yes,
with regards to the requirement on
Where ECC may be required for piggery and poultry farms. And likewise also comment from the Department of Agriculture.
Department of Agriculture.
Yes,
also.
thank you, Madam Chair.
May the Secretary take note, please take note. Next item.
The letter dated April 6, 2017 from Mr. Carlos Garcia, Provincial Manager, Evian Chance Gaming Corporation, requesting issuance of business mayor's permit for PCSO STL station at Zone 5, Cararayan, Naga City.
Referred to Committee on Games.
The letter dated June 20, 2017 from Mr. Herbert Dominguez II, Operations Manager, Cebu EB Park Corporation, informing that they were invited to be one of the major sponsors during the Vice Mayor's League, and 5 units of Prosa Piccolo e-trikes shall be used by guests and participants and will not allow to pick up passengers in the city for the duration of 3 days from June 21 to June 23, 2017.
Muten Academic. Next item.
The endorsement dated June 5, 2017 from the Office of the City Mayor endorsing the draft Memorandum of Agreement to be entered into between the City and SM Prime Holdings Incorporated for Authority.
Tungkol niya sa
Senior Citizen.
Senior Citizen. Spending on Honorable Abunan.
I was wondering, this is second of 2 items na nasa committee po pero nasa calendar din. I was wondering bakit nasa calendar sila. Is this a second endorsement from the city mayor or it's the same thing that was submitted last time?
Honorable Baldimoro, can you answer the query?
This was the same document, Madam Chair, and if my recollection were right, this was on the previous session. This was to be calendared in the next session. So the Secretariat handed to me this matter.
Honorable Abunan.
Yeah, in the last session, Madam Chair, I informed the presiding officer that there is a group that was negotiating with SM, kaya pina-defer si action dyan. So far, I have not seen any revision or proposed revision.
So this will be referred to your committee, Committee on Senior Citizen? Or would you like to take action on this today?
Ang sa akin lang is sana ang itinataotang authority kasi may copy na ng MOA dyan that is to be revised. I am informed na may negotiations na sila for change in days, frequencies, time, etc., etc. But the proposed MOA for which we are asked to grant authority is the same as same as the previous ones. Pag nag-authorize kita na yan, di tayo mabasta-basta na ribayan.
Okay, refer this to the Committee on Senior Citizen. Next item.
The letter dated June 22, 2017 from the City Legal Officer requesting ratification of the deed of use of rock entered into by His Honor the City Mayor and Police Senior Superintendent Julius Muñez relative to the property being occupied by the Naga City Police Office at the Bicol Central Station.
City properties, can we refer this to the Committee on City Properties?
Letter dated June 17, 2017 from Mr. Gabino Pilapil, President St. James Homeowners Association, addressed to Architect Andrew Almeida of CGDI requesting documents such as certificate of occupancy, building permit, approved building plan, and as-built building plans.
Noted. This is addressed to Honorable Almeida, to the Sangguniang.
Board Resolution Series of 2017 of St. James Homeowners Association expressly provides that the President shall represent the association in all activities to which it is a party or participant.
Noted. Hi, land use. Is it pending with your committee? Okay, land use.
Legal opinion number 2017-014 of the City Legal Officer on the authority of the city to accept roads and open spaces in a private subdivision.
Refer to Committee on Land Use.
The local expenditure program of the city from January to December 2017, particularly the general provisions.
Bako ini sa senior citizen. Bako yan, executive local expenditure program. Annual budget. Refer to the para sa kabus po lang. We were furnished a copy of everybody was furnished a copy. Councilor Miles. Si request mo garo ni Honorable Del Casillo.
Madam Chair, may we know, pwede ta mahiling si itong text kan, the full text of the ordinance covering the 2017 budget.
Ordinance.
Kasi parang may disagreement between the special provision na yaon duman sa binugtak, nakakabit dyan sa annual budget as bounded, baka dahil tama duman sa ordinance na pigpasartkan Sangguniang Panlungsod. So we would like to know kung araw kayan man. Thank you.
This matter was raised by Honorable Arroyo during the last session. May we know from the Secretary if there is?
Your Honors, last session, the Honorable Miller Arroyo was requesting for the number of the appropriation ordinance. Actually, we received two documents. One we received last May 10, 2017, the same, the annual budget, indicating ordinance number 2016-081. It will be noted that in this document, there is the copy of the ordinance. All pages were signed by this representation, the City Vice Mayor and the Honorable Mayor, and bearing also the signatures.
Yeah, on sa ordinance.
Which are absent in the blue book.
Yang pig book bound, pero ang day nakakaag. Ano hilyaw? Duman sa bukbang. Pero duman sa inapproved daya. Okay. Honorable Arroyo.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, we'd like to manifest that in the hardbound copy of the local expenditure program for January 1 to December 31, 2017 is not a faithful reproduction of what was actually approved in the ordinance. Our ordinance specifically stated that all disbursements under special purpose appropriation should be based on a clear, so on and so forth, for its information and guidance before any such disbursement may be effected. But that phrase is not present, only for information and guidance. Here, before they can make such disbursement, the Sangguniang should have already been furnished of such program and budget. And second, in the hardbound copy, there's a statement that the City College of Naga is an economic enterprise. But in our ordinance, there was no such statement. Okay, so therefore, what is in our ordinance would be controlling, Madam Chair, not the one in the blue hardbound copy of the budget expenditure program. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable Del Castillo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In addition to what Councilor Arroyo have said, Madam Chair, I believe that it might create confusion on the part of the department and office head that there was a provision approved by this body as far as the provision under number 12 of our ordinance, which is not copied in toto to the hardbound copy of the 2017 expenditure program of the city. That should be corrected, Madam Chair, to avoid confusion on the part of the department head and the office head of the city government of Naga. And second, I believe that the city budget office should recall that all copies distributed to the various offices so that the correction can be effected in a new copy of that special provision be inserted in the 2017 expenditure program.
We call that
to avoid confusion again on the part of the various department heads.
We call the attention of the city budget officer to make the necessary corrections and amendment to the submitted book-bound copy of the local expenditure program. The secretary is so instructed. Next item.
New business, resolution number 17-019 of Barangay San Francisco, respectfully requesting the Sangguniang through the Honorable City Mayor to effect
refer
the
to
one
Committee
unit
on Appropriation.
resolution number 17-23 of Barangay San Francisco, requesting to expropriate certain portion of lot owned by Mr. Angel Ragos and Mrs. Anastasia Hakubo.
Refer to Housing Settlement. Next item.
The proposed ordinance of Honorable Salvador M. Del Castillo, repealing ordinance number 2014-005 that created the procurement office under the office of the city mayor, thereby abolishing said office.
Laws and ordinances. Honorable Baldemoro.
May I request, Madam Chair, that this representation be invited in the committee hearing together with the head of the procurement office as well as the city administrator.
Yes, being the
Thank you,
author
Madam
of the
Chair.
said ordinance. Okay. Please invite those mentioned by Honorable Baldemoro. Next item.
Letter dated June 21, 2017 of Mr. Sorjon Sirojano, student,
Committee on
Central
Appropriation.
Bicol State.
Next.
The endorsement from the Trimobile Task Force endorsing the application for Trimobile funds.
Committee on Transport.
The endorsement dated June 6, 2017 from Attorney Maria Charina Buena D. Po. Technical staff, Department of Justice, referring for whatever action may be appropriate in the premises of the comment observation of Mr. Joaquin Calleja on the alleged glaring infirmities of Ordinance number 2002-04.
This is with regards to
Terminal.
May we
Terminal
reply?
use.
Okay, referred to transport. Honorable Del Castillo.
Madam Chair, I believe that we should send a reply to this letter of Attorney Pu. We might, that letter should contain that that subject ordinance, Madam Chair, was not declared as unconstitutional or illegal by a competent court. And therefore, it remains to be effective unless so declared. I think that should be part of the our reply to the letter sender, Madam Chair.
Okay. We will send a letter to reply. Okay, any second to the motion? Okay, next. Next item.
The letter dated May 15, 2017 of Mrs. Maria Gracia Sales Paro and Engineer Romulo Britannico of the Department of Agrarian Reform.
Refer to city properties. Next item.
Nominal voting.
Honorable Baldimoro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I move that all the approved resolution and ordinance be transferred to nominal voting and approve the same.
Any second? Approve.
Motion to adjourn, Madam Chair.
Second, approve. Adjourn. This session is now adjourned.
Summary of the IP, Madam Chair, so that we can act on that particular request. Siguro ma-recess lang una kita.
Let's go back to item number 1 of the special business.
No, not item number 1, Madam Chair. Item number 1 of the unfinished business.
Item number 1.
Item number 1 of special business.
Of unfinished.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business.
Ay, special business na. Isa yung Honorable Arroyo. Ada ka.
Madam Chair.
Okay, Honorable Del Rosario.
Sa bago po differ tayo ni because ikaw pong mga pigahagad na mga documents. Actually po si pigahagad ta more on consolidation naman lang po ito. Baka po pwede nang makonsider kang committee. Ano man lang ito? Consolidation na lang of our manifestations. Baka pwede na pong aprubahan yan.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the body? The Honorable Del Rosario is proposing that we approve the
I therefore move, Madam Chair, on joint and collective motion that we approve the annual investment plan.
Okay, on joint and collective motion, approve. Adjournment, may motion to adjourn. Approve na. Approve na, Awili. Approve na. Session is now adjourned. O, saan kita?
As you wish, Madam Chair.
Ano sa? There is green.